Love, hearts, chocolate. Valentine's Day is today. It's a good day. Every February 14th, we celebrate Valentine's Day, which is exciting. But I do think that in celebrating Valentine's Day and the goodness and the excitement and the love, we can't forget about like who it's actually about, which is a Catholic holiday. Pretty much every secular holiday that they take and run with is like a Catholic holiday. And that's Saint Valentine, who's actually like awesome. So we're gonna talk a little bit about him. So he was arrested, tortured, and executed for defending Christian marriage, which would probably be like taken aback by how we celebrate Valentine's today. But let's dive into kind of the real story behind Saint Valentine and ask, like, would he like Valentine's Day? I don't know. Let's find out. So history records like at least 2 or 3 different early Christian martyrs named Valentine. And so it gets a little bit complicated in there. But the most famous was a priest in 3rd century Rome during the reign of Emperor Claudius II. And at the time, Claudius had banned marriages for young soldiers, believing that single men made better warriors, which is interesting. But Valentine defied the emperor, secretly performing Christian weddings for couples in love. Eventually, however, Valentine was caught, beaten, and beheaded on February 14th. Around the year 269 AD. And according to legend, before his execution, he healed the blind daughter of the jailer, and which is crazy. It left her a note signed, "Your Valentine." You see where it all comes from? Make no mistake. St. Valentine's story is actually not about chocolate and teddy bears, although those are awesome. It's actually about standing up for the sanctity of marriage, even to the point of death, which is just absolutely incredible. So Saint Valentine was a martyr with kind of this violent story. Why do we associate him with romance? Well, the shift actually happened in the Middle Ages when poets like Geoffrey Chaucer linked February 14th with birds choosing their mates in early spring, which is interesting. And this inspired a wave of kind of like courtly love traditions in Europe. And suddenly, right, like Saint Valentine rose and became a symbol of this romantic devotion, which is actually like really interesting how that came about. And so by the 18th century, the holiday had transformed into like an exchange of letters and tokens of affection. And then you fast forward to now, right, 20th and 21st centuries, and you have like a multi-billion-dollar industry built around St. Valentine from like thousands of years ago, and built around candy, jewelry, overpriced dinners, Hallmark movies. But don't get me wrong, I am a big Hallmark movie guy. I'm a firm belief that you can never go wrong when you sit back just watch a good Hallmark movie. But these kind of traditions, right, not innately bad, nothing necessarily wrong with them. The big question is though, like, would St. Valentine approve of Valentine's Day? And honestly, I think it's a little nuanced. I think he might appreciate the celebration of love, right? Like if it reflected a true commitment to sacramental marriage. I feel like if I were a saint and then thousands of years later there was a Keaton Day, I would get pretty excited. But it also depends on what all of it is about, right? Some of it sometimes can be a little bit materialistic, right? A little bit about like the romance of the whole thing, and we can kind of forget that Valentine was actually a person who defended the sanctity of marriage, right? Like he gave his life to defend Christian marriage, and while today we kind of reduce that, right? Like to a box of chocolates. And I think he'd remind us that real love is more than feeling. It's about sacrificing for someone. And sometimes, right, like that's the case for many relationships that celebrate St. Valentine's Day. Like again, I don't think there's anything wrong with celebrating St. Valentine's Day. It's remembering that it's not just Valentine's Day, it's Saint Valentine's Day, right? Like it's about a person and there's a meaning there. And so if this Saint Valentine's Day, buying flowers is great. That's a good thing. Buying chocolates is great. But in addition to that, how about we like pray for a future spouse, right? Like strengthen, if we feel called to marriage, strengthen that, or read and reflect on the kind of love that Saint Valentine died for. As for Saint Valentine's intercession for a good and safe day, right? Like there are things in addition that we can do to even for ourselves kind of mentally, spiritually, recenter our heart on what the holiday is actually all about. If you enjoyed kind of looking at the real history of St. Valentine's Day, then be sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. I'm curious your thoughts, right? Like these are mine. What do you think St. Valentine would say about today's celebrations, right? Would he be a big fan of it? Maybe he could kick back to a Hallmark movie. Or would he actually desire for there to be a little bit more authenticity pushed in our world today in regards to Valentine's Day? So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you guys for watching. Once again, please share this video. And not to be that guy, I know I'm saying this every video now, but I got to plug it. If you like this, the Jesus Loves You merch, it's actually available. kineticcatholicshop.com. So please do go check it out, and we will see you guys in the next video.